Hey guys, what's up? Today I'm going to be teaching you how to unlock the fretboard. As a guitarist, it's very important that we can play all over the neck and that we don't fall into the trap of getting stuck in one little spot when we have to solo. Now before we begin, we have to learn a little bit of music theory to help us understand what we're actually doing here. So when it comes to music and to chords and to melodies and to guitar solos, everything is based on scales. A chord is just pieces of a scale put together. And melodies are just pieces of scales picked out and played in a certain way. Right? This is a scale. And this is a scale. And it is all based on the major scale. Even different scales are based on the major scale. The minor scale comes from the major scale. The harmonic minor comes from the major scale. The melodic minor comes from the major scale, and so on and so on. So in order to unlock the fretboard, all we need to do is learn how to play the major scale all over. And that might sound daunting or scary, but it is super simple. So for today, we're going to learn everything as 3-note per string patterns, meaning that when we're playing in a certain position, we're going to play 3 notes on a string before going to the next string. And we're going to be doing it all in C major because that is only natural notes, no sharps or flats here. Right, so to start off with, we're going to do what's called the C Ionian pattern, which is where we go to the low E string on the 8th fret, and we play that with our index finger. Then we play the 10th fret with our middle finger. Then we play the 12th fret with our pinky. So far we have, and then on the A string we're going to play the same frets, 8, 10 and 12. Then on the D string we're going to play 9, 10, 12. Same thing on the G string. Now we go to the B string and we play 10, 12, 13. And then we go to the high E string and we play 10, 12, 13 again. So all together that's, and we do the same thing if we're descending. Right, so everything we just played there, those little patterns with our fingers, all those patterns repeat across the neck. So no matter what you're playing, you're either playing what I call the first major position, which is where we go, right, where there's a space in between each fret we play. That one, skip a fret, that one, skip a fret, that one. The next pattern we just played, I call this one second minor shape, and that's where we play a note, we play the note right next to it, and then we skip a fret and play the next note. And then the last pattern we have in this shape is what I call the first minor position, where we play a note, skip a fret, play a note, and then play the note next to it. So when it comes to guitar solos and shredding and fast runs, that is all it is, just played in different patterns across the neck. And we refer to these patterns as modes, and there are 7 of them in the major scale. Now we've just played the first mode called Ionian, but let's learn the next one. So the next one is called D Dorian mode, and it looks like this. Right, those are the exact same notes we played in C Ionian, the one I just taught you, except we're doing them in a different order. In C Ionian, we start on C, but in D Dorian, we just start on D. So on the low E string, we're going to go to the 10th fret and we're going to play 10, 12, 13. Then on the A string, we're going to play 10, 12, 14. And we're going to do the same thing on the D string. Same thing on the G string. And then when we get to the B string, we're going to play 12, 13, 15. And we're going to do that again on the high E. So again, all together. Right, so hopefully by now you can recognize that everything we just played, it's the same patterns as the first one, just in a different order. The next mode we're going to learn is called E Phrygian. So to play that one, you go up to the 12th fret of the low E and you're going to play 12, 13, 15. And then on the A string, you're going to play 12, 14, 15. On the D string, 12, 14, 15. On the G string, you're going to play 12, 14, 16. And then on the B string, you're going to play 13, 15, 17, and then the same thing on the high E. So all together. Again, these are all the same patterns as the previous two modes, it's just all in a different order. So we've done the pattern for C, D, E. So now we're going to move on to F. So for this one you can play higher up on the fretboard, but we're actually going to go down all the way to the first fret. So to play this one, it's going to be 1, 3, 5 on the low E string, then it's going to be 2, 3, 5 on the A string, same thing on the D string. On the G string it's going to be 2, 4, 5. Then we're going to slide up to the third fret and it's going to be 3, 5, 6. And then it's going to be 3, 5, 7 on the high E string. So altogether that's... And this shape is called F Lydian. After F we go into G Mixolydian and it looks like this. So on the lower E string we start on the third fret, then the fifth, then the seventh, and then we do the same thing on the A string, same thing on the D string, and then when we get to the G string we're going to go 4, 5, 7, and then we're going to go 5, 6, 8 on the B string, and then on the high E it's going to be 5, 7, 8. So altogether that's... After G comes A Aeolian, and to play that one we're going to go to the 5th fret of the low E and we're going to play 5, 7, 8. Same thing on the A string, and then on the D string we're going to play 5, 7, 9. Same thing on the G string, and then on the B string it's the same thing but we slide up to the 6th fret, so it's going to be 6, 8, 10. And then on the high E it's going to be 7, 8, 10. So again. And then the last mode we're going to learn is called the Locrian, and it's going to be B Locrian for us. So we're going to go to the 7th fret of the low E string and play 7, 8, 10. Same thing on the A string. And then on the D string it's going to be 7, 9, 10. Same thing on the G string. And then on the B string it's going to be 8, 10, 12. And then it's going to be the same thing on the high E. So all together. So if I put all of that together it's going to look like this. So as you can see, now that I can play all the patterns across the neck, I can play whatever I want in the key of C major. And if you're playing in different keys, all you do is apply that knowledge and move it over to a different key. So if I'm in C, obviously I'm playing C Ionian. But if I want to play all of the same stuff in the key of G, all I'm going to do is move those patterns to whichever notes I need to play. So if I'm in the key of G, I'm just going to be playing the Ionian mode starting on G. Now instead of D Dorian like we had in C major, it's going to be A Dorian. And instead of E Phrygian like we had in C major, we're going to have B Phrygian in the key of G. And so on and so forth. Right guys, but that is pretty much it. So I know it seems like a lot to learn and a lot to practice, but basically all it is it's 3 different little shapes that we're doing with our fingers, just played in different ways across the fretboard. And once we can do that, we can play anything, anywhere, in any key. So I know you'll be ripping across the guitar before you know it. But anyway, it's time for you guys to go practice. And if you made it this far, I really appreciate you watching my video. And if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, please consider leaving a like or a comment. It really helps me out a lot. And if you want to, you can always subscribe for more as well. But anyway, thanks again for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. And I hope the practicing goes well, and have a great day further. Cheers.